That's chunky. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back to my Thanksgiving series. This is part 2 of making staple Thanksgiving dishes up until Thanksgiving. For today's video, we are going to be making Tini's famous mac and cheese. Now, if you don't know who Tini is, she is, I just want to say cook. I don't want to like say influencer, but she's definitely an influencer because of how many people have made her mac and cheese. I've made it a few times. It is genuinely the best mac and cheese I've had, like, ever. So yeah. I don't know if y'all noticed, I took down all of my Halloween decorations and it literally looks empty in here. Like, it looks like we've moved out, or like we're moving out. Crazy. But all right, let's get started. So for the pasta, Tini uses a very specific pasta, cavatappi pasta. Now, she says that she uses this because the pasta itself is like swirled, but it has like a hole. So she says like the cheese gets in there and whenever you bite into it, it's just cheesy goodness. So she says she mainly uses this kind of pasta. So let's go over to our boiling water. The water has almost come to a boil. We're gonna salt the water like the ocean. Gonna get that pasta nice and salty. We want that flavor, the flavor, you know? Take our 1 pound of cavatappi pasta. Now Tini does specify that if you're making your mac and cheese right away, to boil the pasta for 8 minutes. However, if you're doing it for the night before, to do it for 7 minutes, just so that it gets like something about it being overcooked if you do it overnight. So we're gonna boil it for 8. Alright, while that's boiling, we're gonna go ahead with the next part, which is shredding our cheese. Now, Tini is very particular with her cheese and explains that you need to shred your cheese anytime you're doing it because store-bought cheese has a kind of film over it, cornstarch film, and it can make your pasta or your mac and cheese grainy. So in her recipe, she calls for 2 blocks of mozzarella, 2 of Colby Jack, and only 1 of sharp cheddar, but I got 2 just because I like it extra cheesy. So we're gonna go ahead and get to shredding. I got just this regular schmegular shredder. She does separate her cheese into 2 bowls, but me, I kind of like to just put it in one and kind of like eyeball half of that. So let's get started shredding. When it's done after the 8 minutes, go ahead and drain it. Okay, we've officially shredded all 6 blocks of cheese. Usually people hate that part because of the manual labor. I genuinely don't like it because I can't control myself and I eat the cheese as I go, so there's not as much. Anyways, on to the next part. We just kind of put this to the side, and then we're going to go to the most important part, which is creating the sauce. Before we fully get started with making the sauce, we need to go ahead and prep our seasonings. So Tini says that she uses salt, and I'm not measuring, but it's usually just like a tablespoon or 2. So salt, get in there. I like it salty. Regular pepper, and this is new, so I need to open it real quick. I'm going in with about the same amount as everything else. Oh, well, obviously I can't pour. Okay. Some smoked paprika. Come on, don't be shy. Get in there. And some garlic powder. These are all brand new if you can't tell. Why can't I'm really bad at this one. Okay, this one's not coming off so easy. I'm gonna have to stab it. I'm surprised I didn't like grate my nail because I was going so hard trying to get it like as much cheese as I could. That part I don't like either. Alright, now let's add my garlic powder to the mixture. Oops, keep it in there. Oh man, that's a lot. Okay, I'm gonna kind of swirl it around. Alright. You guys, you're not gonna believe this. I just spilled all of that. Okay, let's make a new one. Just made a little bit of a mess, but we've got to move on. Here are my seasonings. I'm gonna be extra careful with them this time. Let's go add them to the rest of the ingredients. Okay, like I said, the sauce part is the most important part of the recipe. The reason is because you have to make a roux, and the first time that I made this recipe, I think that I burnt my roux a little bit and the sauce came out gray. It, like, no matter how much like orange cheese I added, it came out gray and it looked terrible. It tasted good, like it didn't taste burnt, but it just looked gray and it was like weird trying to eat it. But anyways, we're not gonna do that this time. So I'm using a big wok. You can't really tell that it's big on camera, but it is pretty big. Simply because once you add in the cheese and the noodles, then it's a pretty big mixture. Didn't want any like spillage or anything like that. So the pan is heated up enough, but we're gonna put it down to medium heat. Now we're gonna take 3 tablespoons of butter and drop it in the pan. Get it semi-melted. Pretty good. Now once the butter is pretty much melted, we're going to take our seasonings and pour half of the entire seasoning into the pan. And then we're gonna mix this around again on medium-low heat for about 30 seconds. This is called blooming your seasonings, and it's just to kind of lock in that flavor. It's been about 30 seconds of blooming the seasonings. Now we're going to take 3 tablespoons of flour and slowly add it in there in order to make the roux. This is the most important part. This is the part that I burned the first time and it made it gray. Have you ever had gray macaroni and cheese? I have. It tasted good, but anyway, okay. Now I'm gonna slowly add it in there and just mix it with the butter. Oh, well, that's not slowly, it kind of just all came out. According to Tini, you need to mix this for about 2 to 3 minutes just so that it's all combined. I think my problem the first time was I had too much heat, and I started it for the right amount of time. I just had too much heat and it made it burnt. You just kind of have to keep at it for the duration of the time. You just want to make sure that it's completely mixed together. Next thing for our recipe is a full 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. We're gonna move to a whisk and slowly add this. She says to add a quarter of the can first, just to kind of break up the excess flour. And it's kind of thickening up a lot. Getting very thick. Yeah, once it's thick like that, I guess we add more. But yeah, we're eventually gonna use this whole can. Slowly adding in as we go. Again, I'm still on medium to low heat because I'm like terrified of burning it, but I still want it to cook properly. This part is very tiring because you're just literally straight stirring for minutes at a time, but it's okay. Honestly, it's really worth it because the outcome is like amazing. I'll come back when this is all stirred. Okay, I just put in the last bit of the evaporated milk. It should look a little bit something like this. Should look something like this. Now, the one thing I am doing different that I haven't done in previous recipes or previous times of making this is she does add some Dijon mustard to it, and I've just never had Dijon mustard, so I didn't really add it, but this time I'm willing to try it. But she just adds like a tablespoon of Dijon. Again, not really measuring because I can kind of eye a tablespoon. Then whisk it once again. Alright, next ingredient for this recipe is heavy whipping cream. We're gonna add 2 cups. Oh my god, that's not good. That's chunky. That's so gummy. Like, I just bought this. I'm glad I brought extra ones, but I hope that they're not all the same. Let me go see. All right, we found some that wasn't like decaying. So again, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And with this, she says you want to add it in real slowly, a little bit at a time, and you just want to kind of make sure that it all gets mixed in. And again, we're on medium heat. I just didn't want to burn the roux, that's why I was so low. But now we're on medium heat. Glad I skipped the gym today because this is an arm workout. Be prepared, your arm is gonna be like sore as hell. But we're slowly getting it in there. I think about a couple more pours and I should be good on the heavy whipping cream. Alright, all 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream have been added. It should look something like this. Now we're turning the temperature to low because we are about to add in half of our cheese. We're saving the other half to kind of layer within the casserole dish once we put the mac in. We're gonna put in half of the cheese, and we're putting it to low because we don't want the cheese to curdle, because that could also make your mac and cheese grainy. We're gonna add in a little handful of the cheese now. And you whisk that in until it is completely melted before adding another handful of cheese. So this is gonna be a long process as well. Half of the cheese has been added, so we're going to add the rest of the seasonings, hopefully you don't spill it, and then the pasta. Mix it all together. For the last of the seasonings, that is a lot. That's what I get for not measuring. But that's okay, because it's gonna taste good. Your girl seasons her stuff. So cheesy. It's like hard to mix. It's a good consistency though. Okay, now that is all combined, we're going to add the cavatappi pasta. I like the way that sounds, like cavatappi pasta. I don't know. Let it get in there. And now we're gonna mix this all together. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Oh yeah, I want it to be mixed in real good so that cheese gets in the pasta itself. This is the part where Tini says something inappropriate, but I'm not gonna say that. It's just too good. And it's not gray. That's an upside. Turning off the heat because we're soon gonna transfer it into the baking dish. And I also do want to taste a little bit of it. I want to taste it. Oh my gosh. She was not kidding about it being and getting all up in there. But yeah, we're not done. We still gotta bake. Let's go get that baking dish. Alright, we've got our baking dish. Now we're gonna add half of this into the baking dish, put a layer of cheese, and then add the other half and put the other layer of cheese. Oh brother. I'm not good at transferring. I might need some assistance. Baby, will you just hold this while I put some by myself? So we just need half. Alright, this is the first layer of pasta. You get it kind of like leveled out. Now we're gonna add half of cheese. Now we add the other half of the pasta. The last half. Help. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna kind of spread that. And then we're gonna add that last layer of cheese on top. Sorry, this is just so good. Perfect. Now I've got my oven already set to 350 degrees. We're gonna put it in for 25 minutes. Alright, perfect. I'll be back after that 25 minutes. Might broil it a couple minutes after that, but then I'll show you all the finished product. Timer just went off. It's been 25 minutes. Let's take it out and have a look. Woo! Beautiful, but not crunchy. I'm gonna put it back in for a couple minutes so that it can... Okay, it didn't have that crunchy crust top that I like, so I put it back in there to broil for a couple minutes. Hopefully it does what I want. It gets all crusty. Okay, I just took it out of the oven. She's crispy. Let me show y'all. Ooh, yummy. I'm gonna let her cool and then cut into it and give y'all a taste test. Let's cut into this bad boy. I'm gonna take a spatula. I think I just wanna do the corner. I like corner pieces. Look at that cheese pull, that is insane. Okay, I don't think I broiled it long enough because it's like not hard at all, but I'm impatient and this looks really good. The long-awaited taste test. Literally so excited. I definitely didn't broil it long enough because it didn't really have that crust that I wanted, but cheers. Oh my gosh. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the best mac and cheese that I've ever had, and this is the only recipe that I will ever make. This is amazing. Well, I need to end the video because I'm about to pig out and eat this. If you stayed this long, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!